Our host for tonight is past district trainer and past president Richard Dick Barba. A round of applause, please.
Thank you. Thank you, President Burns, and good evening. Welcome to our 19th General Membership Meeting. The Rotary theme for this month is conflict, peace, and conflict prevention. Am I right?
February.
And
Yeah, that's right.
conflict prevention and risk.
Aside from the love month, of course. So we'll proceed. Our guest speaker for tonight is none other our member of our host team, who is past President Dave Karamihan, who will talk about shelter kits for Balamban, Cebu. So we'll proceed with our program for the four-way test and object of Rotary. Please play tops.
We'll have the invocation and the Philippine anthem first.
I'm so blessed, my Lord, I can see you in all the lovely things so fine and true. I see you in the beauty of the flowers and the rain. I see you between the lines of a sweet refrain. I'm so blessed, my Lord, I can see you. Even when I'm lonely and in pain, I see you in the beauty of the stars at night. I see you in my life, I feel alright. I see you, Lord, in sorrow and in happiness. I see you in the glory of sweet success. I see you, Lord, every hour, every day. I can see you, Lord, whenever I pray. I'm so blessed, my Lord, I can see you in the smile of a baby, sweet and true. I can see you in the eyes of my very best friends. I see you in these bonds, just like your love that never ends. I see you, Lord, in sorrow and in happiness. I see you in the glory of sweet success. I see you, Lord, every hour, every day. I can see you, Lord, whenever I pray. I see you, Lord, in sorrow and in happiness. I see you with the glory of sweet success. I see you, Lord, every hour, every day. I can see you, Lord, whenever I pray. I pray. I can see you, Lord, whenever I pray. I see you, Lord.
Mga kababayan, ang pambansang awit ng Pilipinas.
Alam ng puso, sa titik mo'y buhay, upang
as the flag of peace unfurled. I shall serve my community, help achieve universal unity. I shall dedicate my all. World understanding shall be my cherished goal. With a four-way test, I'll pursue my quest. If in my little way help attain peace in the world, I shall not have lived in vain. Service above self, lend a hand to all who need my help. I'll give my spouse to involve in Rotary, and in Rotary ways I will train my family. With a four-way test we'll pursue our quest, in our little way help attain peace in the world. We shall not have lived in vain. Build a bridge for tomorrow's youth, strengthened by nothing but the truth. Let's join our hands, there's no reason we'll divide. We shall all understand why the good Lord is our guide. With a four-way test we'll pursue our quest, if in our little way of the day. Peace in the world, we shall not have lived in vain. Peace be achieved, we shall not have
The four-way test of the things we think, say, or do. Is it the truth? Is it fair to all concerned? Will it build goodwill and better friendships? Will it be beneficial to all concerned? Object of Rotary is to encourage and foster the ideal of service as a basis of worthy enterprise, and in particular, to encourage and foster: first, the development of acquaintance as an opportunity for service. Second, high ethical standards in business and professions, the recognition of the worthiness of all useful occupations, and the dignifying of each Rotarian's occupation as an opportunity to serve society. Third, the application of the ideal of service in each Rotarian's personal, business, and community life. Fourth, the advancement of international understanding, goodwill, and peace through a world fellowship of business and professional persons united in the ideal of service.
Okay, thank you. We'll move on to the next item of the agenda. We will dispense the introduction of the retiring spouses, or since we're very few. We will proceed directly to the introduction of the guest speaker. May I call on past President Radi Abarintos.
Thank you, Past President. Dick Barba. Good evening to our speaker. It is always an honor and privilege to introduce a guest speaker in a meeting. Tonight, our speaker is an engineer by profession. He finished his degree at the La Salle University. He is presently the general manager of St. Francis Manpower Services, aside from holding public position and serving the public in the town of Balamban, Cebu. Our speaker became president in 2004 with the theme Celebrate Rotary. Tonight, we will celebrate Rotary as our speaker talks about the shelter kits for children of Balamban, Cebu. Again, it is an honor to introduce our guest speaker for tonight. Still the youngest club president of Rotary Club of Fuente, past president Dave Karamihan.
May gabi, thank you, Past President Rodney. I'm barely a guest because I'm part of the club and well, because I haven't been present all the time, so I guess that makes me a visiting Rotarian. Thank you for the introduction. Now, this is I'm supposed to be using my laptop because I have some pictures here, but I can't seem to connect my notebook to Zoom. No, so I'll try to describe the pictures or give you a picture through my words as best as I can. So, with regards to the shelter kit, actually, after the storm on that in December 16, my town Balamban was it was incommunicado, no, as much as everyone else is, but we didn't have electricity. I got caught up in the storm here in Cebu, but the following day I had to go to Balamban to check on, on my office and my employees also. And the most imminent need at that particular time was water and food. We endeavored to give. We were able to source out food, some bugas and some itlog, because the canned goods were also scarce already at that particular point. So we gave itlog and canned goods. Now, in our immediate environs, there were houses that whose roofs were blown off. So we had once we were able to go up and running, first thing after the new year, we canvassed housing materials in the local hardware because it was so hard to go to the city and buy stuff there, and we had a problem with fuel as well. So we decided to we had some of our employees survey the immediate environs of our office and we have a small development in Balamban. We had them survey the environs, and we were able to list down about 40 households who were in immediate need of GI sheets, basically housing materials. So we canvassed in the local hardware, and we were able to find the supply. And what we did was we gave them bugas, rice, and we told them, okay, we listed them down, and we had already the specific materials that they needed, and we endorsed it to the local hardware, and they were supposed to get it from the hardware, and they will just present their ID, then they will sign off on it, then the hardware will give me the billing. Then in order for us to ensure that those materials were indeed used for the repair of their houses, they were supposed to go coordinate with us again, because they will be getting another bugas and a tray of eggs, no. And once we give that to them, we are able to see if indeed they use the materials. The bugas we were able to give, but the itlog, it ran out, so we're not able to give the eggs. So, but basically that was the concept. Then there were a lot of attempts or inquiries as to how civic groups, as Rotary is, how we can be able to help. Then we got an idea from our district governor, Ana Luisa Bumagat, of this shelter kit. No, the shelter kit was supposed to be composed of 10 GI sheets, one plain sheet, hammer, and a thin snip, and some umbrella nails. The concept, it was a very novel concept because, after a storm, most of the houses that were damaged, the most imminent need they have is a roof over their heads. Past President Jesse thought about the sakulin, which was a temporary relief, but basically people really need roofs over their head. The wood they can get because they can basically get wood from from the debris. But the GI sheets, they are they are basically blown away in far distances, and unless you have your names there, those are basically finders keepers for other people wherever it landed, no, if ever they are still usable. So it was a novel idea by Shelter Box and some social civic groups. It was a novel idea that the most imminent need is the GI sheet and the plain sheet for the sidings, and because you can hire carpenters, but the thing is carpenters and all the tinsmiths were victims themselves, so you can't really hire them because they'll first start with their own houses first. So the hammer and the tin snip was a good addition because if you want a roof over your head quickly, you'll just have to do it yourselves. So it is with that idea that there were about 30 houses in Barangay Sing Sing in my town that were in need of those. But those houses, because of the passage of time, it took a while for us to mobilize. Some of those houses have been, they were able to address those, and the barangay, the local government was able to help them with cash assistance for them to buy their housing materials. Now there's this sitio in Balamban. It's called Bang Bang. It's near the coast and it's near the river. And during the storm, it was cut off from. It was a bit isolated because the road going there, the single road that was going there, was blocked by so many debris, electrical posts, and trees. And there's a group there that is isolated because there's no road going there, no. And it just so happens that after the storm, one of the occupants there, who's a friend of mine, got in touch with me and asked for help. No, we were able to send some food supplies. Then later they were besieged by so many kind-hearted people with food supplies. But they said, Dave, Sir Dave, we really need the housing materials because we're near the coast and it's the first time that the sea has risen to knee-deep levels in their area. It's a farming area, and it is the first time that the sea has reached their area in that storm. So this with RCCF recovery program in the chat group, initially he was able to list seven houses in his immediate environs. No? So we adopted that shelter kits, and this morning I was able to go there and distribute it. I have the pictures here. I just can't. I wasn't able to transfer it to my phone. We distributed 7 shelter kits this morning, and I have a list of about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 more houses that are still in need of shelter kits. I was the one who personally went around and took some pictures. Although I was given pictures earlier, but the pictures were not as ideal because it's very near the house. You couldn't really see the extent of the damage. But I was able to go there myself. I walked around and I was able to get about 10 houses still in need of housing materials. Now, what's the situation on the ground? No? It's been more about almost 2 months since the storm. You would think that the government, at least the local government, provincial or municipal, have already given assistance to those people who are in need. And in fairness, they've been hard at it. They've been doing that. But the thing is, because this barangay is kind of isolated, um, uh, the assistance from the province and from the municipal government have not been able to reach them for some reason. To give you an idea, there are two types of assistance: the totally demolished house and the house needing repair. For the totally demolished, they give cash of 5,000 pesos. For the partially demolished, they give coupons worth 3,000 that you go to a hardware and they're supposed to hardware or grocery store, and that coupon would entitle them to 3,000 pesos worth of items. No? But as in any government program goes, there's always a disconnect from the program implementers to the program designers to the implementers themselves. Somehow there are situations wherein there are two families in one household submitting a different angle of the same house, and they're given totally demolished cash assistance in one household. So they get 10,000 pesos, but in one house. You know? And some of the barangay officials are not as, how do you say this, caring enough in checking on the submissions. No? So that's the situation on the ground. And there are people who are not able to submit the pictures because they were not informed. So I explained to the people there, and I told them that this is not meant to compete with the government programs, but this is just meant to fill in the gaps as up to the extent of our funding, the funding of the sponsors. So that was how I explained to them, and I told them that we will standardize the shelter kits. Is meant to standardize the how the assistance to be given, and I told them, if you don't need as much GI sheets, I'm sure other houses near you would need more than the 10, and you can actually share with each other. So that's the situation now on the ground. As I said, I have more houses here that would merit an evaluation from the club if they want to give assistance. And I also had somebody. I also assigned somebody there to take pictures next week so that we can assess, or we can see where those GI sheets and other housing materials that we gave, how it has panned out in terms of their living arrangements. So that's what I can report. I wish I could show you some pictures, but maybe I can post it on our chat group for you to be able to assess for yourselves how it is on the ground. Right now in the area there is no electricity yet. Some parts of it, yes, but most parts there's no electricity. The signal in the internet is intermittent, and it's it's very disheartening that this is only this place, this sitio is about 9 kilometers from the poblacion. So, but even then, they are still deprived of the electricity and water up to now. Perhaps not really, well, basically because of the extent of the damage in the area. So that's all I can report for now, Sir President, fellow Rotarians and guests.
Okay, Past
Thank
President
you.
Dave,
If you have any questions.
we are
Yes.
open for Q&A questions.
Yes,
We
yes,
are
of course.
open for
Of
questions.
course. Of course, of course.
Any questions from the membership? We have past district governor Mean.
Thank you. Thank you, Past AG Dick. First, I'd like to commend Dave, no, for on the ground relief and recovery actions in Balamban. And from where I was looking, the least I can do is try to source out donations to help all those who are reaching out. Also, with Jesse, for that matter. So in the recovery group, there were two people who were already doing action recovery work through Jesse and through Dave. However, we need to be mindful that when we do donate, given that we are answerable to the donors, we need to document it. That's one. Second is when we do the recovery, it is not just a temporary effort to recover. We hope that their houses are in lands that they own, just like what is being done in the DMI efforts. So we pattern our relief efforts after the DMI. This is the Disaster Management Incorporated efforts. And the shelter kit, which Dave mentioned, is actually a suggestion from Shelter Box themselves. Shelter Box ran out of the Shelter Box kits. So that was how massive the destruction of Ondet, that even Shelter Box, considering that it has its office, one of its office here in Cebu, in the warehouse of Bobong Castillo, they ran out of it. To make do, they came out with the shelter kits. Now, though we want to really build a house, it was impressed upon us in that disaster meeting, we are not to build houses, but help rebuild the house through the roofing. So it had to be the roofing that was to be prioritized. So having said that, I think we already gathered around 400,000 pesos in donation. And initially they requested for 30 homes. I understand Jesse also requested for 5 homes. I requested for 3 homes as well. But nevertheless, whatever would the group decide, we would want an impact in our efforts. So the barangay Sing Sing is something that has the number.
Bang.
Bang
Bang.
Bang. Ano di day Sing
Yes,
Sing?
Bang.
Kinsa di ito si Sing
Uh,
Sing?
the, the, the Sing Sing, there were 30 there, but a lot of those were given assistance by the government already.
Okay.
Although there are still some there, but I refocused it to Bang Bang because I saw also what happened in Bang Bang, and they have not
Okay.
been receiving the assistance yet. So
Dave,
I shifted to Bang Bang.
Oo, baka while we're discussing, you may want to email to Tope the pictures that really are heartbreaking. So
Pardon, ma'am?
baka the
Unsa to, ma'am?
pictures, sandali, tanggalin ko nga, something's wrong with my...
Okay, can you hear me better this way?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, you may want to email the photos of the houses to Tope now as we speak and discuss para makita gyud ba. It's really heartbreaking. Well, it broke my heart nga wa gyud balay ba unya ang mga bata. Well, we've seen a lot of that during on death. But seeing na naagid ato ang Rotarian si Dave, he is there on the ground, makakuan gyud maka-antig. I hope Jesse is here now so he can also talk about his liluan. He's adopted 5 homes. At first, he identified 5 homes kaya lang nasa shoreline. So naanod yun siya and they didn't own the property. Then later on, he suggested 5 homes nga katag-katag. I don't know. I don't know exact asa. And he pointed out on logistics ang pagdana sad. Unlike kang Dave, ang iyang gisuggest, kuhaon lang sa hardware, nagsabot na sila, bayran lang nato. Is that how it goes, Dave? Dave?
I think he got disconnected.
Naghang siya. Oh, na-disconnect. Di, kay, pila to 10 sheets, niya 30 houses, di daghan-daghan na, di ba? 300 sheets. So, ang pagdalang ba, kay, ang source from Cebu was through past President Bernard, but we wanted to source out from our own. Niya, ang gi-suggest ni, ang gi-point out ni Jesse, maglisod niya ta ang pag-transport na sa dito kung Balamban, basig mao lang gyapong gasto kung dito na lang Balamban kuhaon. So I'm not privy to that anymore, and there were also discussions on apilon pa ba ang martilyo o ang gabas. So I don't know about that. I leave it to the guys, na atay mga engineer, na atay mga architect. I leave it to you. Basta we need to have a uniform shelter kit, a uniform budget. So for a budget of 400,000, pila ka balay at how much? 500 something or 5,000 per house? Mao ba itong i-compute una ni Dave? I don't know. So ang details na lang na wala ra ba? Ana na si Dave, oh. Dave, dinha lang ko. I was just unmute yourself, Dave, please.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Nga, nabalik.
Kaon man. Actually, there was a quotation before in the in shelter box that in that particular presentation that each shelter kit would cost about 3,000 plus, no? But we tried to source out about a few weeks ago. Murag di na maabot og 3,000, perhaps because the GI sheets that are available either have increased in price or the thin ones, the nipis na GI sheets are no longer available. So we were able to source out locally. I would like to stress that I prefer my assessment or my preference is to source it locally and get as much as the best deal as possible locally, because while we may have while we may have the cash, but our beneficiaries are far from the city, and the logistics and the transportation cost may eat up into the cash that we have. Now, if we could get a good enough deal locally, of course, it's going to be a bit more expensive, but if it's not that expensive, considering that we don't need to spend for transportation, I preferred it locally, and it's easy because I explained earlier to the 7 people I turned over. I said, magkita rata, magpa-picture lang ta karon kay turnover rani, symbolic rani. Ang musunod na the succeeding, if ever there will be other beneficiaries and there's funding that will be funded, that will be coming for that, diretso na sa hardware. Susama atong coupon, we will devise a way. Diretso na sa hardware para dili na ko mo isturbo ninyo nga arita dire magpa-picture ta, mag-TikTok ta, guman pa. Diretso na sa hardware nga. Kami mo check na lang may after nga inyo bagyong gigamit nga amo lang po siguro that the hardware is really giving the materials out, and that kibaw na ka. I told them kibaw na daghang mga gwatsinanggo sa atong mga paligid. So I explained to them that's how it's going to be. So it's going to be more practical and it's easy to mobilize because we don't need to wait for the materials to be coming from the city, bringing it there, etc. We don't need people to be really distributing it. So that's the fastest. Part of the reason why the 30 we need not help anymore is because it took a while for us to mobilize, no? And this is something new. We can't, and the money that's coming in, it's sponsored money, so we can't really decide haphazardly. So the quicker we can mobilize, the better for the beneficiaries. And to do that is to source locally. Just make sure that we get the best deal locally. And since the hardware that we have here, we have in our town, we regularly get our materials from them. So I'd like to think that we were able to get a good deal then kuan pa ka ng credit on credit. Yes. So that's the thing. There are a lot more houses that are in need, but they are informal settlers. So if we are to use as a requirement that they should own the land or at least authorized to be in that property, then they cannot be given the kind of assistance that we are offering. Although I have another group, my high school group in UP. Uh, we are also helping them, whether for similar concept. Actually, I borrowed it, shelter kit. So there's no requirement as to whether or not they own the land. So I'm helping them through that program of that other group. So thank you.
All right. So any other questions?
Past President, I just like to emphasize, no, this is an inevitable query, perhaps. I'm not running for public office, so there is no. This might be misconstrued that this is related to because I used to be a councilor in my town. No, I'm not running for public office, and I emphasize to the people there that this is a Rotary project that I happen to be a part of, and there is no. To those people who voted for me, thank you. And if you are part of the beneficiaries, you are given. And if you didn't vote for me, I wouldn't know anyway. So if you're still part and if you're chosen, you will be chosen. So there is no political dimension to this particular activity, and I emphasize it to them. And hagbayran na human ang filing of candidacy, wa man kuning file. So wa git. So this is not in any way related to that, and it's not to be related to that. Thank you.
All right. So defensive kay ka, Dave, ha? So anyway, any other questions? If there is,
Dave?
yes.
Na, time is the essence now. Kibaw na baya kawala sila atop. So now that si Dave na atay Rotarian on the ground, iyan ang teritoryo, I think we need already to implement that. That's my take, because our sponsors are making kulit, are making follow-up. They need the photos because they want to know where their funds are going or went. So naapa na, maybe past President Treasurer June could do a breakdown on the donations that we received, some from our sister club, some from private individuals, and even a Chamber of Commerce in Texas. And we have another sister club who is expected to deposit $1,000, at least $1,000 soon. But we need already to start doing the recovery for the identified houses that Dave was talking about.
All right, Dave. Can you take it from there, Dave?
Yes,
Time is the
that's basically the reason why I prefer having it sourced out locally. Okay, even if we get the cheapest here in the city, and there are a lot of cheaper supplies, but face it, we can't really transport it that easily. If the beneficiaries were in the city, pwede. But and what's aggravating pa, it's the COVID. I was treated for lunch this morning. And I told my people there, ay na lang di lang kita maniud to, pero gitagaan mo kog paniud to. Yeah, and it's, you don't want to insult them by turning it down. It's a risk. So that's why it's better nga diretso na sa hardware pa. So that's the fastest that we can do it. We will just have to ensure that we can document it.
Maybe you can come up with a timeline, past President Dave.
I will be submitting some pictures here. I would suggest as we evaluate the beneficiaries. Let's say, for example, there are 10 houses. Of the 10 houses, let's say 5 would pass or 8 would pass. We could. As quickly as 2 days, we can already inform the people that this is how you do it, because it's as easy as as what past district governor would usually say. Dekahon naman ang shelter kit. It's just a matter of telling the hardware store, okay, here's another set, here's the purchase order, and here are the list of names who are going to pick it up. So And then after that, we inform them, hey, you guys are okay, so you get it from there, and etc. So 2 days at the most, we can already mobilize. And that's the longest already. 2 days. We can already inform them that they can pick up the materials already for them to rebuild their houses. So
Okay,
so
so does that answer
that's
pass this
quick.
Dave,
Yes, ma'am.
Dave, kung pananglitan na pulo ka balay, pila ganito budget sa shelter kit ang imong gi-estimate? 5,500? Around 5,000?
5,000 ding mahal mang tin snip by 50 or some basta 5,500 5,505.
Pero
if I
atong
remember
gamiton
right.
ka bag-on 0.4 mm or 0.3?
No, I think we got the 0.5 because
0.5.
I'll check again because there's no more available thin sheets already.
Unya, 10
And
feet or 8 feet?
10 feet. 10
Okay,
feet.
all right. Di, kaya
And
nga
I
kung
think there's
una-una,
no yes, ma'am.
sorry, kung napulo ka balay imong una, the first batch of sponsors katong RC Midtown Tarlac, they donated at 50,000 plus. So, himo na RC, mara na mag ilaha na nga cluster. And then kaning usa nga cluster sa Mutya Santa Maria, usa sa naka-cluster. And then the same with Texas, Coppel, and
Yes, ma'am.
ato i-cluster ba nga naa sila teritoryo.
So in 10
Yes,
houses,
ma'am, we can do that.
55,000.
55,000, yeah. In fact, if they are just clusters, we don't need to give hammers and tin snips for everyone because maghinulamay naman na. If in case na we can, because a tin snip and a hammer would cost about 500 pesos for both. That's equivalent to almost 2 plego of GI sheet or perhaps 1 plego of plywood. So something like that. But I would think so we can easily budget it. We will assume that the tin snip and the hammer will be included just for budgetary purposes. Yes.
So how much money is now on hand? And then how much ang atong club mo shoulder para kay ba tapili tag sa tao mo hatag? So I don't know who has the
Current amount is 457,363.50. This is the total amount received by the club as of today. Give or take about 5,000 of that already spent for some expenses like the sack of rice that we paid for during the height of the relief operations. So we have about 450,000 then for the shelter project that we can spend for this particular undertaking. And if ever we have that amount and we will have 5,500 as budget, we can give to about 80 households for that amount, with that amount, I mean.
Attorney Burns,
Yes.
siguro since we already considered time is of the essence. And I think past President Dave has already inspected the area. For those who have already completed the requirements, let's give them the kit already.
Actually,
the requirement is just
already
picture
gave.
and screenshot of the tax deck. That's what I told them. The screenshot, don't bother sending the hard copy of the title or the tax deck to me.
Oh, kasi
Dave has already identified 10 plus the 7 which he already distributed. We actually already gave we have already about 17.
so let's give the funding for the 10. That's 55,000 pesos.
There's actually no issue with the
No.
funding. We can release.
No issue.
whenever.
Yeah, mas maayo na, malihok na.
Dave already has a credit line with the supplier, di ba, Sir Dave? That's what I
Yes,
understand.
we we already issued a PO that will be paid by later this month or next month yet.
Okay.
So it's
So
not a problem.
So the
But
ball
I
is
will just have
already
to send the pictures for evaluation.
so the
for
ball is
the-
already in the hands of the recipient,
that's
not
correct
already.
as of now.
Now for this particular case, I already gave it to them. No, they were I saw them hiring a tricycle to bring it to their place. No, so but the succeeding beneficiaries will be getting it from the hardware na. So it's just a matter of informing them.
Sir Dave, how many houses are we targeting? Are we going, because our
17.
president said with the money, it's already around 80 houses, like President Burns, no?
Yes, as again mentioned by past President Dave, he targeted for his area 30
Okay.
households. Although the 30 that he initially planned as beneficiaries have already been assisted by a different group, he would still look for other beneficiaries, which again still would be under the initial estimate of 30 households in
Yeah,
his area alone.
yeah.
So if he cannot have the entire 30 household, then we can always give it to another community. Maybe just a suggestion, for those who already have identified a particular number or a particular community that they want to help, they want to assist with this shelter project, like Tita Mayan mentioned about having three, then perhaps we can just already set aside a particular budget for that number of households, and I think that's doable, and we can, if we can already identify the possible supplier for our kit, again, we'll just follow the kit that was given by Dave, um the GI sheet plus the hammer and the whatever it's
Tin
called,
snip,
tin slip.
tin snip,
Okay.
tin
Okay,
snip, snip,
slip.
snip.
Okay. So we will comply with that. We will share to the body then the contents of the supposed shelter kit that we will give for the information of everyone. And if you can identify your community, then if you can have the proof, then we will consider it for purposes of handing out the budget. Okay. So just understand that we have a limited number of household of 80 as of this time.
Right.
Uh,
So
also, President Burns, it would help if only to emphasize that it's a Rotary project. If do we still have those stickers? Because we will enjoin the beneficiaries to have the
Um,
some
I've
sticker to
I've
be.
asked Tope to prepare a sticker so that we can make use of the sticker. But I intend to get the funding for this not from the donation but from the club's funds or from somewhere else so that it will be considered as the share of the club also.
okay, any other questions? If there's none, may I call on President Burns to present the certificate of appreciation for our guest speaker for tonight.
So thank you so much to our guest speaker, past President David Ramihan, for sharing your time and um, expertise on the matter. So this certificate of appreciation is hereby presented to Dave John Karamihan for his invaluable time and expertise as guest speaker at the 19th Rotary Club of Cebu Fuente General Membership Meeting, given the 7th day of February 2022, signed by yours truly and my secretary, Jose Marie Ponce. Thank you so much, Dave, and what better way to talk about this particular project, but from experience. So thank you so much for waving the banner of the Rotary Club of Cebu Fuente in your relief and recovery operations.
You're
All right,
welcome.
thank you, President.
Yeah, Dave.
Again, we'll move on to our next agenda, which is business matters and your president's time. President Burns.
Thank you again, past President Dick. So I would like to give the floor first to our February hosts. If there are events that you would like to share, or there is a particular program that you would like to share to our general membership with regard to the month of February Monday meetings.
Noted
I
on
need
that.
to prepare.
President Burns.
Mhm. So I already know that we have on February 21 a guest speaker from um, regional
Labor
arbitration,
arbiter.
the regional arbitration board commissioner, head commissioner, in fact, Attorney Rindoke. Okay, so he confirmed on February 21. And I know that past President Dave has also asked Attorney Carranza to be a guest speaker as well for a possible discussion on the ill-gotten wealth issue. That is that, or the
President,
Philippine, is that supposed to be another or some other matter he will discuss?
actually, since the theme is peace building and conflict resolution, uh, Attorney Carranza will be talking about transitional justice because
Okay,
he
transitional
works for
justice.
International Transitional Justice Commission. It's an advocacy group based in New York. But of course, he used to be part of PCGG, and I remember I was seated beside past President June Torres when we attended the joint meeting with Cebu West when he was the guest and he was a commissioner of PCGG. So I'm pretty sure this a side discussion on that particular issue will be tackled. But the main issue is with the theme peace building and conflict resolution, and with that is transitional
Leadership.
justice
Oh, justice.
advocacy. Yeah.
Okay. Well, Attorney,
He confirmed on February 21, and since there's already a February 21 schedule, I sent him a message. It's sa mga orasa sa New York kanon. I asked him if he could if February 28 would be a workable schedule for him, and I would also suggest President Burns if we can invite other clubs because si Attorney Carranza back in the day when we had him first, it was a joint meeting among 3 or 4 clubs, I think, in Grand Convention Center, and I'm sure a lot of clubs would be interested to hear about his topic. Bisaya na si Atty. Carranza.
okay, past President Dave, once I'm able to get the confirmation on the date, on his available date, then we can send the publication materials for the invite
Yes.
of other clubs.
Thank you.
Okay. Another event for the month of February is the legal aid work, the free legal aid work that we will be conducting with the Integrated Bar of the Philippines Cebu City chapter. I've discussed already with the director of the legal aid work for the chapter, and she said that um, we can plan out everything in a matter of 2 weeks. So if we can identify the target date already, the better. What I had in mind is the weekend of February 26 or 27. I know that 24 is a holiday. 25 might most likely also be a holiday. So people may have more time to attend our legal aid work then on Saturday. I don't know if you will be out of town though, but that's the intended date that we have in mind. Based on our initial discussion, there is a barangay in Cebu City that was greatly affected by loss of documents. Um, she mentioned about wait, where is it? Uh, okay, I'll get back to you. I got lost in the discussion, but she mentioned about the barangay. I suggested though that maybe we can do it in the malls, the Robinson's Galleria or Ayala Mall as initially um, suggested by past District Governor Mayan, because these malls are actually open for a possible project with us. So maybe we can consider that. The barangay is Pamutan. I don't know where that is though. It's a barangay of Cebu City daw, Pamutan. So if you're up for it, it would actually be a good experience for us if we can attend physically the legal aid work. So, all that we have to do as the partner organization of the IBP is just to usher the um, possible clients. That's all that is required there, because the rest of the work can be done by the volunteer lawyers and as well as the people from the city civil registrar. We normally invite the civil registrar representatives as well as the representatives from the register of deeds, because based on our experience, what normally crop up as an issue are issues on birth certificates and issue on land ownership. So that's why these government offices are invited. Okay, so that's it for the legal aid work. I will apprise the body on the updates of this legal aid work. I am personally organizing this event for the club. Uh, for the National Autism Consciousness Week, I would like to congratulate spouse Sandra and past District Governor Yumi for effectively representing the club in the different events. They've also organized for us the exhibits. Thank you so much. Thank you also to past District Governor Mian Solomon for connecting us with Robinson's Galleria management that allowed us to do the exhibit there. Thank you, AG Maricel Amores, for attending the radio program for the Autism Consciousness event. With what radio program was it, AG Maricel? The
YRF, together also with
YRF.
Jomar.
Jomar, yeah, and also Secretary Jomar for attending. And for those who went to the exhibit, I know um, Jomar also attended the exhibit at the SM. So thank you for your support for this particular undertaking. We know that one of our main advocacies is the autism week. I mean the autism awareness campaign. And in relation to another advocacy that we have on breast cancer, please continue to share and like the posts of the I Can Serve Foundation, um, so that we can continue to help also in spreading awareness about breast cancer. For the international convention, there are news from the Rotary that it is already confirmed to be a face-to-face event, at least for June 2 to 4. June 4 to 8, I mean. Or June 4 to 8. Okay. Currently, from December 16, 2021 to February 28, 2022, the registration fee is $495. So if you want to avail of the special registration discount, be sure to tender your payment on or before February 28, 2022. So you can still avail of the $495 registration. Okay. Then for our COMELEC, I've discussed it with past President Dick, past President Dave, and past President Radi Abarintos, who are our February hosts actually. So if they agreed to be the COMELEC for our election of the president nominee designate. So if they can already prepare the and set the rules so that we can already proceed with the nomination and election of possible candidate for the position. I've already reported to the Rotary International the president and the secretary, as well as the executive secretary for the club. The executive secretary is still Tita Mean, so we already know about that. But Polly and Tope have been reported as the president and secretary for the next year, which have the team Imagine Rotary. Okay. So we're very excited. I am very excited for the coming Rotary year.
Imagine Rotary.
Imagine
So, sung by by John Lennon.
Mm.
John Lennon. Composed by John Lennon.
Birds.
Yes.
Addition lang, there is a from the first Rotary International golf tournament, Rotary
Mm.
World Golf Club, Golf Cup. Ikaw na lang emphasize tanan if you want to, or
And
you want me to continue.
you can continue, Doc Elaine, because
Yeah,
I just received the email also.
yeah. This is the registration is open, so this is from the 14th to the 20th. 50 countries and then 150 cities. There'll be around 300 golf courses and 5,000 participants. So those who wants to join, the event chair for the Philippines is Rotarian Parag Shet. There's a phone number. There you go. No. So the golfers who wants to join, um, please register yourself and to the event chair, Rotarian Parag Shet, no? Sila ni Jun Torres, si past President Jun Torres, past President Emmy, sila past President Radi. You might want to join, no? There's a letter that I think President Burns is going to post again for the group so that you will know how to register.
This is also posted in our Facebook page, so this may be a good opportunity for everyone to visit the Facebook page and like the posts there, so you can read more about this particular event. Please
Thank
confirm.
you for the time, Burns.
Thank you also, past President Elaine.
President Burns,
Yes, Sir Radi.
may I move that past President Emmy Salona will be the chair for our participation in the golf tournament.
Any second the motion.
Second the motion.
Nadali mo na naman ako, past president.
Unahan na. Unahan na kita
Second
pare.
the motion.
Okay, so it has been moved and seconded.
I'll inform you guys tomorrow.
Okay, so if there's none, then I appoint past President Emmy Tesalona to be the chair for this event on behalf of the club. Okay, I'm sure
Thank
you
you.
have a lot. We have a lot of golf enthusiasts in this club, so
Accepted,
we don't
President
know why.
Burns.
Puro mo lang yung visa mo, past president.
Okay.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you.
Okay. And on the matter of solicitation, I just like to share to the club because this is addressed to me as president of the club. I received a solicitation letter from a Rotaractor. Um, can I share?
Okay, attorney.
So this is the letter sent by the USC Rotaract president. Louis Haminal. So he's asking for financial support for the medical assistance of his ama Adelpha Cesar, um, her third generation grandmother. So if you would like to donate or to extend assistance, then we can just tell me. I can do the
President
transfusion
Burns, will
amount.
pass the hat na lang siguro, mas better, and then atong club na lang mohatag dito, mas
Yeah,
better.
just give me a personal message through
Yeah.
Facebook if you would like to give a financial support to as requested by our life-changing Rotaract president.
Burns, I think Louis emailed to all individually. I received that email last week and I gave my GCash. I'll give you a copy of my GCash.
Okay, thank you, PDG Mayan.
And he also sent to Gov Ana
Yes,
Bumaga.
yes, Gov Anna actually called me also about this, and I just told her that this is a personal request, so we need not take it as a an official Rotary matter. So if you would like to give, you may do so, but if you don't want it to be coursed through Rotary, just do it personally. And she said that if the club will give, so I have to inform her now. So I will do that if once I'm able to receive your donations. So I'll just wait for your personal message. Again, this is a personal matter. It's up to you if it's a personal thing, so we need not do it as a club also, if you would want. Okay. So also on our global grant, PDG Yumi Espina, um, can we already lodge the official application now, Govumi?
Uh, we have to, there were a lot of blanks on that form.
Mm.
We need to have a partner club.
Mm.
I thought si Koan Polly is going to fill those up.
Okay, so well, I'll
The application needs participation from a foreign club, so I don't know how to go about that.
okay. So we'll talk to Polly
Yeah.
with regard to a possible partnership with a foreign club. So we'll
Yeah.
talk to our sister club in
Yeah.
Isuwon. PDG Mayan, how about the second global grant that we have? Are we ready to lodge the official?
No, kami ni Alain, wala namin naka-work on it because of the events, and Red Cross was also very busy. So
Mm-mm.
we'll first see how it goes with GovUmi. And
Mm.
for the partner, I think we have a pending, we have an earmarked amount. Remember, I mentioned that to you, Burns. We
There's a
have an
10,000.
earmarked amount for a global grant. So I don't know if that can be transferred to this global grant, but we need to be mindful that our draft should really be complete, as what Gob Yumi said. And for the Rotary Club of Suswan, our sister club, if they would like to be our international partner.
Okay, duly noted, PDG Mayan. We will confirm with Polly on the status of our sister club agreement with uh, Rotary Club of Isuon if they would still want to do the global grant with us. Okay. So I'll talk to Polly. It's the problem. He seldom reply unless you call him or catch him in a good time. So we'll see. Okay. Allow me to give me until this week to get back to PDG Yumi on this matter.
Photo of President Burns.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. We'll have now the photo op. Okay. So can I request the Rotarians to please open your video so we can have the photo op?
Eman abay-abay.
Okay, 1, 2, 3, smile. Okay, another one. Smile, huh? 1, 2, 3, smile. Okay, that's it.
Thank
That's it.
you. Past President Joel just messaged me that they still don't have Wi-Fi at home, so he has
Yeah.
difficulty also getting a signal. So that's it. If there are any other matters to be discussed by the members, that's it
Uh,
from Ken.
President
Yes.
Burns,
Yes. Yes. Sorry, I just
Attorney
cut.
Carranza has confirmed 528.
Okay, so we'll have Feb 28 then for Attorney Carranza. Yes, PDG Mayor.
Yeah, would Polly be back in Feb? I mean, this month? Because as we speak, IA is ongoing and there are already plans by Gov-elect Lilo and District Trainer Barbet. So I hope Polly will already be on board.
What he promised PDG Mayan is that he will be back in the country on March, not this month though. It will be on
March.
March. So we'll have to inform him of the plans then. I'll tell him that there are ongoing plans. But is there already an official kuan ba tita? An official
I do not want to preempt, but they will announce soon.
okay.
I
So
don't want to preempt, but they already have the tentative pet sets.
okay. I accepted also the district's invitation.
Congratulations. Actually, from our club, there are only 3 or 4 who will be serving next year above the club level. That's you, and we have Alain. Alain has been retained as district polio coordinator.
Okay. So,
That's that. Tope, are you retained?
Huwag mo siya iingon ako kung siya.
Sige magsugo nimo basig sige magsugo nimo. So basig understood na siya sa public image.
okay. So any other matter? So if there are
Hi,
no
Mr.
other,
President.
yes,
Okay. Tess actually informed me that the 50 additional mini hats
are available now.
are ready and available now for distribution again.
Okay. So thank you so much, spouse Tess, for meeting again our Beanies. Thank you. Yes, EG Marcel.
Case, so if the beanie, when you start donating the beanie, just tell me because I remember somebody asked for a katong bitaw for the babies. Kanang say nga nga alin kanang murag pakuan sa baby. So was able to get one. So it was not they decided not to get it. So we can have it donated on that day.
Okay, we'll look for another beneficiary hospital for the babies this time.
Hindi ko napapanggan. Parang gawin. Baka yung ano, mami.
Kanang sa asilo, tita, EG Marisa, would you know? Do they have newborns there? No, so we'll have to choose good a hospital good that has delivery. Okay, I'll ask around then. If you know, please.
Saint Vincent Ferrer is kuan kanang hospital. San
Sa
Vicente.
tita?
San
Saint.
Vicente Hospital. I think they're also maternity po na siya.
Okay, Saint Vincent
Yeah,
in
Saint Vincent,
in
San
Jones,
Vicente, kuan,
the one in Jones,
Orhelio, yeah, Jones, murag ana.
somewhere near
Somewhere
Ayana.
in Aurelio.
And
Okay,
community hospital is also maternity kuan po na siya.
I'll ask. It will be easier for me to get hold of Saint Vincent.
St. Vincent na si Rotaract President. Si Kuan, si
Oh.
sa Scombase ba?
Okay, sige. I also know the the hospital's admin officer personally, so maybe I can ask.
Diba St. Vincent is now owned by Attorney Go also?
It is. Yes, PDG man.
Yeah, I just wanted to share under the name of Cebu Fuente, one of my colleagues in Manila through the Rotary Club of Manila donated 30 pre-cut 10 by 10 tarps to RC Tagbilaran for their temporary sakulin. So I'm just happy, and there'll be more that will be directed. It's just it's taking time kay wala man mi diri town sa Cebu nahurot, as in the employees had to use it kay bawo si Tope ana. So we had to ask our Manila colleagues. So they're sending, better late than never, karon nga gitangtang na ang mga national politician tarps. We're expecting more tarps from Manila to be sent over pre-cut at 10 by 10.
Okay. Thank you, Tita. Thank you to your colleagues also. Anything else?
President
So,
Burns,
yes.
when is the
Yes,
deadline for the submission of the president nominee?
you have the deadline na?
No, you're going to come up with a deadline. When will we submit it?
Better if we can do it within the month, sir, the election already.
Okay, no
Oh,
problem.
but you feel free to choose the deadline though, because we need not report just yet actually the officer that we will choose. But it would be nice if we can continue the tradition of having a president nominee designate.
All right. We will be adopting the same rules and regulations to like last year. And if
Mhm.
ever there are some changes, we will just inform you.
Okay, thank you, thank you. Okay, for the last time, any other matters you would like to share? So, yes, PDG Mayan.
Given that past President Dick made an announcement that they'll be adopting the same procedure, perhaps it'll be nice, like in the DNC, that they come up with a rating sheet. So we have their minimum grade, and then subject to discussion after. I think that will be very objective when it comes to rating the potential nominees for whatever position in the club.
A good suggestion, Government. Dave, any comment? Past President Dave?
Sorry, I wasn't listening. I was emailing. I'm sorry.
Past
I'm
President
sorry.
Dave.
A rating sheet with a minimum grade requirement for the nominees. For the
Yeah, sure. Yeah, past President Dick. Yeah, sure. Of course.
Okay, we will add that one on the regulations and the policies. Any other suggestions? So we could add more.
So I will leave the rules in relation to the election to our COMELEC. So if you have any other suggestion, feel free to message either past President Dick, past President Dave, or past President Radi.
All right. We will come up also with the rules for disqualification, just in case like
Okay. A lot of choices, ha? Sige. Wait for it. Okay.
Ay, dili na pwede.
Thank you.
Oy, pero, Past President Dick,
Oh.
may I suggest that the judgment should be handed down in 1 week, huh? It might be delayed also.
Yeah, we have three. We have Commissioner Ferolino, we have Commissioner Comelec.
Juanzon.
Juanzon.
And Del Rosario Matulas. Ever that guy.
Be fair, it will be. We will come up with a fair and just output on our side.
Okay. Looking forward to it. So, there being no other matters to be discussed, I hereby call this 19th General Membership Meeting adjourned. Fellowship continues. Thank you so much for attending.